Welcome back, everyone. I'm busy preparing for annual trip that we do to the Vaal River, just with some friends, and I thought of sharing one or two of my patterns that I'm busy preparing or busy tying for this trip. And these are patterns that I've been fishing for a very long time on the river, and that I always take. I never go there without them. Now the one that I'm going to show now is I just call it like the glass bead Mayfly. It's a little nymph, Mayfly nymph, and I tie them with glass beads. I don't add any weight or anything like that in the fly. And again, a very simple fly. I tie them in different colors. The one I'm going to tie now is like a yellowy olive kind of color. I tie it with a dyed mallard tail, and when I tie them in brown, and I obviously use a brown mallard and a different bead. I like to use the UV colored beads. On this one, it's like a gold color. And then when I tie them in brown, I use an orange bead, and when I tie them in black, I use a normal white bead or transparent glass bead, and also with a UV finish. And it's actually a very successful fly to fish as a point fly. I have caught trout on them, although I don't really fish them for trout. You just select a bunch of fibers from a mallard feather and tie that on top of the hook after you covered the hook shank with thread. I'm using an 8/0 grip thread in a kale or cream color, and I'm tying it on a 12003 size 14. I never really tie it in other sizes, so this is my sort of go-to size for the fly. Tie all that in all the way to just behind the bead. Leave a small space behind the bead and where you cut that off, because you're going to be tying some more material in there. You don't want everything to clog up behind the bead. Take the thread back, or in fact, before you take the thread back, you tie a piece of copper wire in on the way back. And this is a very thin copper wire that I twist. You can use a single strand copper wire. I just don't have any available at the moment. That's why I took a very thin copper wire and I made it a little bit thicker by twisting two pieces together. Tie that on top of the hook to the tail right there, and put that aside. And then the dubbing I use, you can use different dubbings. Wapsie has got some amazing dubbings, Hairline has got amazing dubbings, but the dubbing I've been using, it's just because I have it. It's some of Jan Siemens Czech Nymph dubbings, and it's like a golden olivey color, and it's got a bit of sparkle in it. It's a very nice nymph mix. You tie that, you just roll that onto the thread. I got this dubbing way back, I can't remember when. It was on a trip to Europe and the UK that I bought quite a bit of this stuff in different colors. You just wrap that onto the thread, roll it on, and build a normal Mayfly abdomen that tapers a little bit towards the front. And you stop right behind there where you tie the tail off, where you cut that off. Don't tie it all the way to the bead, because you're going to need to tie some more material in there. So we leave that space open, and we obviously need to taper that a little bit. So we go back and create that nice tapered abdomen right there. And then you leave the thread in that open space. Take the copper wire and wrap that around the hook in even wraps. To there, and you tie that off behind the bead and just in front of the abdomen. And this copper wire is so soft and thin, you can just cut it with your scissors. Push that end in, so to get that out of the way, you can tie that in with a few wraps. Now, the next step to finish the thorax is we're going to use exactly the same dubbing, it's just a different technique, and that is a split thread technique. There is a video on different dubbing techniques that shows this technique if you're not familiar with it, and I will link it to the video. Basically what you do, you split the thread with a dubbing needle and put some dubbing inside that split, trap it there and then twist it. Now the technique is explained in more detail in that video. You can go and have a look at it there, just like that, and then twist the bobbin to wrap that in between the two pieces of thread, and that creates a nice little dubbing brush. Just like that. And you take that and you wrap that behind the bead, and you'll see it creates a very nice bushy thorax. Same dubbing, it's just a different technique. And you tie that off right behind the bead. And that's the fly. It's a very easy, very simple fly to tie. You can tie a bunch of these in a very short period of time, and it's one of those patterns that I hardly ever go to the Vaal River without. It's a very nice pattern to fish as a point fly, and especially in glides, deeper glides, where you want to get down. You've got a control fly that will pull it down, and this can move very slow down that glide, just like that. So you can go and tie a bunch of those, try them out. Very simple materials, nothing fancy to use. Try them out and let me know what you think. Please subscribe to the channel, please like the video, comment. I always like to read the comments, and thanks for watching.